As Doug the Pencil here, back for another edition of Tier List Tuesdays, and let's chat about the Kingdom Hearts villains, or antagonists, or mean people, whatever you really want to call them. We got some different tiers today. We got our true evil, our pinnacles, our top of the line quality villains. Then we got the savages, the beasts, the monsters within the KH series. Then we have the dastardly. They're evil. They'll mess with you. They'll take your lunch money. Oh wait, actually no, not yet. Then we have the mean. Like, you know, they're kind of mean. I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit mean. They're kind of annoying. Then we have they would steal your lunch money, but like if you fought back, they wouldn't really be able to do much. Then like, yeah, that guy with the pencil, the floating face, would most certainly run their fade, and they barely count as a villain. So let's hop right into it. I think we should start off with a light one. Lexaeus. Lexaeus would steal your lunch money, and while he would most certainly actually put up a fight and probably get your lunch money in the end, I feel like he just wouldn't bully anyone else afterwards. Like, he may get my lunch money, but he wouldn't come the next day. He wouldn't come the day after that. Lexaeus would take his beating and just go back to being a somebody. Honestly, Lexaeus, even in Chain of Memories, just wasn't that memorable of a villain or an antagonist. Like, did he even fight Riku twice? No, I'm pretty sure you fight him, you beat him as Riku, and then he beats you in cutscene, and then Riku instantly goes into Dark Seeker mode and just slaps Lexaeus, and he dies. Like, we get so little of Lexaeus as an antagonist. He's not very threatening. Like, the power level stick is funny in KH2 in his Absent Silhouette and his Data boss fight, but honestly, as a pure antagonist, he doesn't succeed that well. He's not that intimidating, despite his massive size, especially relative to the main characters. And, you know, me, visual storytelling, I like the David and Goliath scenario right there. It doesn't work that well. I don't know. Lexaeus doesn't do that much. She was a temporary antagonist. I'd beat Dark Aqua in a fight. Give me my Keyblade. Give me my Keyblade. Man, I'll do it with the Kingdom Key 0. No, I'm kidding. But so little time as an antagonist. It was one fight, and she got slapped. I mean, she slapped Sora. She slapped Riku and Mickey, which is honestly what they deserve. Well, no, Mickey deserved it. Mickey most certainly deserved to be slapped for what he did. But, like I said, she did so little as an antagonist. It was a 5-second twist. Maybe if it wasn't shown off in the trailers, I'd be way more receptive to it. But since I got it in the trailers, I was just like, oh, well, she's one of the 7 Guardians of Light, so I know this isn't gonna last long. Like, if Aqua had become a member of Organization 13, if she had actually been Norded, which is I'm very sad with the direction the series is heading, where Xehanort may have not actually been evil and may have just been possessed by darkness. Like, that's not as fun. I really don't like that. But if she had actually been Norded and become a member of Organization 13, and like the yellow eyes and white hair wasn't just like a red herring, I would have loved that. That would have been fantastic. Like, you had to, if it was almost like a Shion situation where you had to beat her in the Keyblade graveyard in order to turn her back over to your side to get another ally. Same thing with like Terra. That would have been good. I would have liked that a lot, but we obviously didn't get that. So it was so little time. I'd beat Dark Aqua. Come on now. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use Ansem in reference to his Diz persona, because honestly, Diz was just a dastardly savage. In fact, nah, he's going all the way up there. Do you hear how he called Naminé a witch? He said, Roxas, what right do you have to know what's going to happen to you? You are worthless, you are a nobody, be gone from my sight and rejoin with Sora already. I was like, whoa, alright, you doing, wow. Like, and I'm stopping him there. Like, when he becomes a good guy again, I'm like, I kind of like the evil guy. Like, I liked his, I like the presence he had. Ansem the Wise, especially when he was, is there even a difference? No, I think his voice is the same. It's just the delivery. I'm not sure who Ansem's voice actor is, but the delivery of the voice actor when he's evil, when he's not evil, when he's an antagonist to Roxas, in particular, Roxas and Naminé, who I consider 2 of our protagonists, especially at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. I feel like he works very, very well. And from his introduction as Diz, he carries this air of mystery. Like, sure, he wants to help Riku. In a sense, he wants to help Riku. Where's Riku? Whatever. He wants to help Riku in a sense. I know it's not the actual Riku. But he's really in it for himself. Like, I like that, and how Riku had this, how he ended up making Riku suffer, all that good stuff. I really like how Diz was used within the narrative. I think that's very, very good. Apprentice Xehanort, man, like, I would actually, like, this looks like pre-Memories Apprentice Xehanort, and I would actually watch pre-Memories Apprentice Xehanort, like, pull up and throw him into the Destiny Islands ocean myself. I'd do it in a heartbeat. He's fodder, and he does, like, nothing. I mean, I know he's responsible, technically, for the Heartless pandemic, but I'm pretty sure that was after he got his memories back. When he initially was just freaking out, I don't think he had all that. So definitely gonna put him. I'd win in a fight. Like, actually, I'm pretty confident in my abilities to fist fight Apprentice Xehanort. Moving on to Axel. So when Axel was an antagonist, he was a full-blooded savage. He was so, in fact, he was so savage. He went around killing his fellow organization members with no hesitation. Bro, do you, like, there's very more metal a scene in all of Kingdom Hearts than in Chain of Memories, when Vexen's like, I don't want to, goodbye, and Axel just snaps, and Vexen is burned out of his non-existence. That, what, like, his introduction was so good, because he really builds up as just a playful guy. Like, oh yeah, I don't really care about any of this. Hey, Sora, yeah, you better watch out, because, you know, we're the organization. We'll mess you up, Sora, blah, 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 blah. But the way he does that, the way he manipulates, and the way he, like sidesteps or, like, curbs Larxene on so many occasions is hilarious. The way he is a threat, despite him. Like, the numbers obviously don't reference power in the organization, because look at Vexen. But you have so, like, they obviously the seniority implies something. But the way Axel sort of just runs around the ranks, not caring who's who, and is just like, you know what? I'll kill everyone myself. And to be fair, I think if Axel and Marluxia hadn't been interrupted, I probably would give that fight to Axel. Like, because the way Axel was ready, and the way Xemnas, who pretty much knew anything and everything about all the organization members, was like, hey yo, do what you need to do, Axel. And he put full confidence. I'm pretty sure Axel would have won that fight if Sora hadn't pulled up and like, nominate. So Axel was a great villain. Even when he was being just like even when he was just being mean in Cage 2, when like he had no real reason to be a villain, he was acting as an antagonist, not just towards Sora, but towards the organization itself. That's very, very good. I like every single bit of Axel as a villain. When he turns into a protagonist, or like a full-on protagonist, I think he loses a lot of the charm he had, because the thing that I like, the reason I put Axel so high up there when he was a true villain, was because of the level of unpredictability you had to him, because his motivations kept shifting on a dime, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was so interesting to watch. It gives me massive, if you watch Hunter x Hunter, you know, he gives me a lot of Hisoka vibes when he was a villain, and I like that a lot. So he really was true evil quality. But someone's got to go higher. Larxene. Larxene may just be, oh, do I say it? Nah, I can't say that. But she's do I say it? I think she's in my top 5 favorite Kingdom Hearts villains. I'm going to see by the end of this list. I'm going to see where I put it when I actually go to rank every single one. But when I tell you the vitriol from this woman, the savagery of this woman, like, you see, I'm ranking them as antagonists, like as antagonists relative to the protagonists. So that's why despite being power or whatever, these guys are all the way down here. But the reason Larxene goes up so high is because the things she rips out of Sora, the things she rips out of our protagonist, is so real, so juicy to tear into, and like, in my mind, Chain of Memories Sora is best Sora. Like, as a character, as a pure character. I know Sora's supposed to be a flat character. He's supposed to affect those around him and not change that much himself. But for a woman with no emotions, a woman that doesn't exist, she sure ripped a lot of existence right out of Sora. Her voice actor snapped when playing Larxene. I don't know how. As a person who wants to voice act himself, I don't know how to do that. But the way she was like, but I'm a bad guy too, so you're going to have to go through me. And she just... And I've played Rechain of Memories. And to say the least, I may have struggled a little bit on Larxene because I didn't have any slates at that point. But, wow. Just really, really good stuff all around from Larxene. Yeah, she's definitely up there. She's definitely, that's the thing. And luckily enough, we never really get Larxene as a protagonist. We don't get a Lee situation. We don't get a Diz situation where she, like, stops being an antagonist. She always keeps that playful, sadistic edge, even when she perishes at the hands of Sora. And, like, we get a little bit of humanity out of her, despite her being a nobody. When she comes back in Kingdom Hearts 3, there's no remorse. And she's literally, even when she gets defeated in Kingdom Hearts 3, she's like, I got a little secret to keep. I'm gone, bro. Peace out. And she's gone. And now we have her. As much as I don't like Key, we're getting her. Apparently, she's over 3,000 years old because everyone in Kingdom Hearts is apparently 3,000 years old. Why do I keep saying 3,000? I keep getting like 7W Sin's time periods conflated with other series, but I'm not actually sure how ancient the Keyblade War was. It was called the Time of Fairy Tales. That's about all I remember of it. But basically, Elraine seems to be like it's going to be interesting, despite how little we're getting of her. Larxene, peak villainy. The way she. I've always believed that a good protagonist-antagonist dichotomy resolves one ripping something out of the other. And the way Larxene rips things out of Sora, and the way Sora rips something out of Larxene quite physically by actually beating her to death, or beating her to whatever, by defeating her, everything, that was a very, very good protagonist-antagonist relationship. That's why she's top there. She's up there. Data Roxas, he was kind of mean. He was just a mystery, and that's okay, I guess, but like, it's not Roxas. I mean, he was an antagonist for like 5 seconds, but he's better than Apprentice Xehanort. So yeah, you can slide right there. You're doing good. Let me see if we're going. No, Aqua doesn't count. See, y'all see, I'm like, Ansem's right there looking at me to be like, hey, yo, bro, you gonna do something with me? And not yet, Ansem, give me a sec. Cloud. He'd steal my lunch money. He was only an antagonist for like 5 seconds in the original Kingdom Hearts 1 for Heroes of Olympus. He was not an antagonist for very long, so I really just can't give it to him that way. So I'm gonna have to just be completely honest. Like, Cloud was alright, but he wasn't peak antagonist. Like, you knew the main villain was Hades in that world. Like, you knew it. There was no belief Cloud was an antagonist. He definitely tried to steal your lunch money though, but actually, I probably wouldn't win against Cloud. I'll be completely honest on that one. Demyx. Like, I'd actually win in a fight because he doesn't want to fight. I feel like if you weren't Sora, is that you just accidentally pulled up on Demyx of all people and said, hey, yo, you don't want these hands. He'd be like, you're right, I really don't. And then he'd run off and go play a sitar. So I'm really, Demyx was never a good, he was a funny character. He gets way higher as a character, but as an antagonist, he's kind of bottom tier, I'm not gonna lie. Though that one line that he had in Cage 2, where he said, silence, traitor. And I was just like, ooh. And there are dumb theories out there that he's the master of masters. And if that's the case, Nomura, hats off to you, man. I really am worried about the direction you're taking Kingdom Hearts, but if that's the case, hats off. I would find that one hilarious. Let's see who is next. I'm not sure which Riku this is. Isn't this also Data Riku? But no, I'm not sure. Was this Riku possessed by Ansem? I mean, he was mean. He's on the same level of Data Roxas and technically Data Riku. But Data Riku was only an antagonist for, once again, like 5 seconds. But yeah, even in Big Hero 6, he was just kind of mean. Like, he took over Baymax, made Baymax go evil, and controlled the bugs for a little bit, but then he left. Yeah, I don't know. That Riku, he didn't really do much. Was she really an antagonist? Can I cheat? Can I put it? I'm gonna consider her an antagonist because she wasn't forthcoming with any of the information. She sort of forced Data Sword throughout all those adventures, only for it to be completely irrelevant. So yeah, I'd win the fight. As long as I'm not connected to Sora, Naminé can't do anything to me. I'll fade Naminé. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't ever. But yo, Donald, true evil, bro. Where are my heels at? I'll be real. I'll be real with y'all. I really like Zaldin. Like Zaldin. Like Zaldin. Like the Zaldin. He was such a dastardly antagonist in Beauty and the Beast. Like, his voice actor also did a fantastic job. I know Kingdom Hearts gets a lot of flack for like wacky lines and whatever, but every single time his voice actor spoke, every time Zaldin spoke, it was like, ooh. Like, he always had this this sort of presence to him that I have to say that a lot of organization members lack. And like the way he like stole the rose just to torture, like he was going all in for that Beast Heartless. I'll give him that. He was ready for Beast to become a Heartless and possibly make a nobody. So I really like Zaldin in his world. Does he do much? No. He in fact gets elbowed by Bell of all people. Yo, Bell, low multiversal. Did you hear it here? Bell low multiversal. Is this the case? Bell planetary? What? Am I losing my mind? Nah, I'm kidding. But Zaldin was really good. Moving on to the Goofster. No, I'm kidding, not the Goofster. Yes, the Goofster. Also true. No, I'm kidding. I need to stop with the Goof. Do all these, do y'all 5 count as antagonists? I feel like y'all 5 should count as antagonists. I'm not gonna lie. The Foretellers are kind of whack. They weren't really antagonists. Nah, they weren't antagonists. Ugh. But I know someone who is an antagonist who's getting put up there. Hayner was never an antagonist. I mean, he opposed me. He opposed Roxas in a fight. But I would fold Hayner myself. And that means I scaled to Ansem. So I would fold a multiverse myself. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Hayner. No. Let's see. Zexion. I've always, like, I've heard his name Zexion said so many times, but I always like mispronounce it according to everyone I talk to. Like, no, it's said this way. No, it's said this way. But we literally have voice clip. I don't know. Zexion. Man, I need to figure that one out. But another time, another day. Zexion, he was mean. Like, once again, he kind of just existed to get slapped by Riku, but he did it a little bit better. Like, the whole illusion thing, I kind of like that. I like that. And the way Riku transformed before he killed Zexion, that was good. That was good. That whole, the flowing of the cape, he turned around and that was good. His death was cool, but other than that, he once again, he had so little time. Reverse Rebirth really didn't do good for any of the antagonists in that story, so I can't blame Zexion for that. But in the same sense, I can't praise him as an antagonist. He's only a little bit mean. Once again, very, very weak antagonist. I still don't, to this day, I don't understand why he beat up Sora. Like, for what reason? You could just talk to the man. But I guess he just had to assert dominance in that moment? Whatever, he was an antagonist for 5 seconds. Luxor, he's the driver of Yozora. But he's also trash. Like, a lot of people like Luxor in the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I didn't like him in either of them. He was in the KH2 one, right? What? Am I conflating that? No, yeah, he definitely was, because his gamblers were there, and that was that annoying part, this mini side quest. Yeah, I didn't like him at all. The only reason he's even in Would Steal Your Lunch Money is because, man, I hate his fights. Man, you suck as an antagonist. You do nothing. I'd win the fight. He try to play cards with me, and I'd run his fade. But then, so he can stop. He can stop these hands if all he wants. Sad thing is, he probably would. Jiminy, the ultimate antagonist? Okay, nah, I'm kidding. He's only the second ultimate antagonist. Kairi, you're gonna talk about you soon. It'll be your turn. Lingering Will. He'd steal your lunch money, and he'd assume you're Xehanort. That's it. He's very, once again, like, no time as an antagonist. In fact, he was literally, if we're going by like the original releases, he wasn't even an antagonist at all. He was just a protagonist. Like, he's a secret boss. He's the hardest secret boss in the entire series. Well, the fairest, hardest secret boss in the entire series. But it wasn't a good antagonist at all. I don't know what you all want from me. Literally was like an antagonist for 5 seconds till we beat each other up, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're actually gonna go on fighting again though. Yeah, that was really it. There wasn't much that Terra did. That's the thing. He didn't do much. He did not do much. We gotta talk about you now. We gotta talk about you now. Now we gotta talk about you now. We gotta talk about now. We ain't gotta. You're dumb. He was an antagonist for 5 seconds when he flipped the script. In fact, you're the worst antagonist in the series. When he flipped the script on Terra, like, I guess I will not fail again, and then he went and tried to kill both his kids. I'm like, really? Guardian of the Light. That's the wave? I guess that's the wave. And then he stored himself in Terra's heart. Really? That's the wave? That's the wave. I found it whack. I'm not gonna lie. That one didn't make much sense to me. Master of Masters. I mean, he's going at the bottom of True Evil. I don't like him. I mean, I think he's an okay character. I really like his vocal performance. Fantastic. He's done so little on screen that I don't like, but in terms of the series, he's actually like True Evil because he pushed the Keyblade War to happen, and like all the suffering that happened because of that. The series is his fault. In short, the whole Kingdom Hearts series, in retrospect, is his fault. So yeah, he's True Evil as an antagonist. The things he ripped out of everybody, not just the protagonist. Master of Masters caused a lot of trouble, which is good for an antagonist, but like, come on, man, you have to do that. Let's see. I'm sorry, Donald. Perhaps I judged you too harshly, Donald. Because King Mickey is truly the true evil. In fact, nah, I won't do it. But yeah, Mickey, you really had to leave Aqua, huh? I had to respect her choice, haha. No, you didn't. What choice? What? Mickey. He was the, like, I'll be honest. I didn't vibe with Mickey that much before 0.2, but he actually shot up to being the worst antagonist in the entire series after 0.2. Wow, that game does. Naminé. As an antagonist, like, I might be like, whoa, why is Naminé going so high? And to that I say, it had to be done. But the reason I say that is because she wasn't an antagonist of her own volition, but I'm judging as an antagonist. Yeah, she's sliding up to True Evil. She erased all of their memories and then put them back together in a manner that they couldn't work with without, like, nah, I'll put her in 7. Because she's sort of in the same boat as Diz, but she's at the top of Savage because the way, like, obviously we know that the nobodies are just immune to mind manipulation, because that's basically what Naminé does, memory manipulation, whatever. They're completely immune to that because she obviously would have done it to them, if anything. But the way that she acts as a roadblock for Sora out of her own greed, it's a very sad story, which is why Naminé is also a top tier character. But it's a sad story about how, like, not only was she forced into doing it by Marluxia, but also she like, I'm not saying Naminé would have done that without Marluxia and the traitor organization's influence, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did. Because she was so lonely, right? Like, imagine if you were in Naminé's position. Like, you were alone from the very moment of your existence. You only have one certain memory in your existence, and that's Sora. But Sora's nowhere to be found, and you have the ability to bring him to you and make him love you and make him care about you, even though you two have never met and you've been lonely your entire time of being. I'm not saying it. Like I said, I'm not saying that Naminé would have done it, or I'm saying Naminé would have done a variation of it, or she would have at least drawn Sora to her. So Naminé as an antagonist, very, very, very good. She was quite the savage for like a 5-foot blonde girl. I'm dodging. I'm bobbing and weaving. Look at this dastardly. He's so. Pete's hilarious. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Pete. All y'all Pete haters out there. But y'all need to have a greet for Pete, because Pete is my boy. Pete is my man. He's the cat of cats. He's the cat of cats, and it goes just like that. Put some respect on my boy Pete's name. Put some respect on his name. He was in every world throughout Kingdom Hearts 2. He was living his good life. And in Kingdom Hearts 3, he was digging for that box. Put some respect on Pete's name. My dastardly boy. He did his thing. I don't know why he transformed into a lion when he was already a cat when he went to Pride Lands. But that's the only thing. That's the only issue with Pete. Get off my boy Pete's back. Riku replica. Alright, so like, not gonna lie, Sora was kind of Riku replica's antagonist, but like, once again, as an antagonist, he was good. He was very, very good. Like, I think Chain of Memories, outside of like certain people who I'm going to talk to, had some of the best antagonists and best like characters, period. Like character writing, character interaction. If that game was better, if that game had Kingdom Hearts 2 level gameplay, no one would hate that game. No one. Even if it did reuse all the worlds from Kingdom Hearts 1. If it had Kingdom Hearts 2 level gameplay, everyone would love that game. Because the story is honestly... the characters in the story are honestly, top notch. Riku replica, the way he suffered because he knew he wasn't the original, and the way he had to go die to the original Riku, all that, really, really good. The way Naminé broke his heart quite literally by, wiping his memories in a violent fashion. Wow. All that, he went through a lot. He went through a lot for something that didn't really deserve to exist. Or not didn't deserve, didn't have, that wasn't an original. Wow, Riku replica. He was the main man. He was the main man. Moving on. Riku. And he was mean. He was literally just a childhood bully throughout all of KH1. Then he got possessed by Ansem. He wasn't really the best of antagonists, I'll be real. That fell to someone else. Roxas. Roxas is steal your lunch money. And by steal your lunch money, I mean steal the body back. That's all he really did. When he was an antagonist to Sora, he was mostly unaware of it. It's when he was like outside of Sora's existence. And I'm still not necessarily sure how that one worked. Because technically, Sora should have been that like vegetative, unable to wake up state. The moment he came back from being a Heartless, that's why I always have, I'll admit, I have this weird theory that Sora's body but no, it ages. I have a weird theory that Sora's body in Kingdom Hearts 1, after Kairi hugs and restores him, is just a vessel that Kairi made for him by a complete accident. Because why would Roxas coming back be so important? Because Roxas is supposed to be Sora's body, because he's his nobody. But somehow it's not. I don't know. That was always weird to me. But yeah, back to the point. Sorry, back to the point. Roxas, he was an antagonist for Sora for a long time, like a whole year, but that's just because he was existing. He didn't know anything. He didn't remember anything about Sora. And then when he was actually an antagonist for Sora, it was for one boss fight. He was literally just testing his other half to see if he was like worthy of being his other half, and he was. So I think that he would steal your lunch money, but that's about it. Roxas is a really kind dude. Saïx, man, this man was a savage. Sora literally got on his knees and begged for Kairi back, and Saïx was like, no, he left. That was so, like, that one, even if Saïx didn't have all those other moments where he was a great antagonist, from antagonizing Axel or Lee or whatever, from all those times when he would just, like, when he would just sneer down at the lesser people who dared to get in his way, his amazing boss fight. I love his boss fight. I love Saïx going berserk when he's, at the moment, a nobody who shouldn't feel any emotions, and the fact that he's like appearance wise and like common action wise one of the calmest and most collected of the organization. I feel like Saïx has a great balance. I think he's really, really good all around, super solid. Like Saïx a lot. Moving on, I'm gonna count this as Young Xehanort. Young Xehanort was actually, I'm putting Young Xehanort that high. I'll remove them. I'll remove them when they need to be removed. But Young Xehanort actually goes pretty high because of how good he was as like a mystery. I don't like where he led to, but when 3D Dream Drop Distance, like anyone with half a brain cell knew that was a younger version of Xehanort, but anyone with the other half of a brain cell was like, how in the world is that possible? And the whole time travel situation, I'm not the biggest fan of in Kingdom Hearts. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But I think Xehanort, young Xehanort pulled a good. He bamboozled, but he bamboozled well, and I like that. I like that in a character. I like that in an antagonist. And let me think, for his boss fight, I mean, I don't like his boss fights, like either of them, like his one in 3D or his one in BBS, but I think his time gimmick is really, really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, wait. Overpriced ice cream. He really is the true evil, but he's right below Mickey. See, even the tier list knew that Mickey is a better antagonist. But where are we ready to go? Sephiroth. Oh, okay. His speechless role in Kingdom Hearts 1 is perfectly fine because of how Cloud has to deal with them. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 story implies, and it changes in Kingdom Hearts 2, but Kingdom Hearts 1 story implies that Cloud was living his best life, and then Sephiroth destroyed his world. Or we assumed, like, you have to assume it's Sephiroth because there are no other context clues. And obviously Sephiroth is the main villain of Final Fantasy VII. So you have to assume that. And then when you fight him, and he's the hardest boss in the game, you're like, oh, yep, I can definitely see. And he summons meteors. Oh, I can definitely see how this guy destroyed your world, Cloud. So, and then when he shows up in Kingdom Hearts 2, he's mad corny. Like, I am your darkness, Cloud. When he actually starts speaking, he is mad corny. But I still like him a lot. He really doesn't interact with the main story at all. Really wish he and Cloud had like a true proper conclusion in Kingdom Hearts 3. But, of course not. Am I gonna make that video this month? That's a wonderful question. Do I make how Kingdom Hearts 3 is such a disappointment? Nah. Kingdom Hearts 3 was okay. It shouldn't have been okay. Kingdom Hearts 3 was okay. Ooh. Let's not talk about that. His existence is dastardly. I'll be real. Like, as an antagonist, once again, he has so little time. But then again, Kingdom Hearts 3, he kind of washes everybody. Like, everyone. Like, he kind of kills everybody. And then Donald kills himself trying to kill. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty metal. And his like, honestly, he looks whack to me. Like, Terra's outfit barely works with Terra regular, but this Terra Xehanort looking mess, he looks completely ugly and weird. But his level of savagery, that was pretty good. He was pretty darn dastardly. I'll give him that. He was pretty darn dastardly. I'll give him that. Now let's take a look in a book. Reading right now, Terra, you technically don't count. Like, I'm so close to putting you somewhere. Now, if y'all remember that hour and 30-minute long Odyssey, I have no idea how long this video is going to be, by the way. But if you remember that hour and 30-minute long Odyssey I didn't put Venus that high. But as an antagonist, he like falls right below Axel, because in my mind, he's perfect. He's perfect on so many levels because of the mask, he provides this weird air of mystery from Rip. And obviously he shows up, and he's the reason Ven even goes out and has an adventure in Birth by Sleep. He's always out there pushing the protagonist, making them ask questions, wondering what he is, where he comes from. He's the source of the unverse. He's the source of an entire enemy type. Vanitas always carries this weird air of mystique and intrigue around him. And he has he flips the dark outfit design in a really interesting way. The darker colors really work with him. The mask looks really, really cool. His Keyblade is one of my favorite designs in the entire series. I'm not even gonna lie. I forget what it's called. I just love the Keyblade. I love his entire design. The fact that he's a dark Sora, because that's what Sora would look like if he was aged up to that age that Ventus was. And he was born. The only thing that like shakes me up about that is because, well, technically he shouldn't look anything like Sora, because Sora's heart came to patch the damage after the fact, after Vanitas was ripped out of him. So I don't know why he looks like Sora, but I get what you were going for there, Nomura. Like, I understand the point. I get the point. So I like all that. And I think his interactions with Aqua are some of my favorite. Because Aqua literally sees him as that bad boy from down the street. Like, what are you doing messing with my son? And Venus is like, I made Ventus smoke a blunt. And then, they're just living. I like that so much. I think he's a fantastic antagonist. And the way he always just wants to like rejoin. For some reason, him calling Ventus brother in Kingdom Hearts 3 really, like, that made me like him 10 times more. For no real reason other than the fact that I like sibling dynamics. And I feel like he's right in a sense. They are technically brothers. They're two twins they're two parts of the same whole that were split apart and ended up living their own two different lives, like twins can be. So I think that's very, very good. Let's see. Who's left? Ventus, I mean, he'd steal your lunch money. I'd win a fight. I'm only going off Kingdom Hearts Key, because yes, I had to make Ventus a murderer. Yes, Ventus is over 3,000, blah, 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 blah. He's over really old age of fairy. You can't tell, I really don't like Kingdom Hearts Key. Let's see, who's left? Vexen? He was mean. He was mean. But he was he was a weak antagonist. Like, he was one of the weaker parts of Chain of Memories, if I'm not gonna lie. Like, all around, he was super weak in terms of and especially in terms of his competition, like his Axels, his Larxenes, his Marluxias, like all these top tier villains. And he was in the good story too, the good half of the story, with the Sora side story. He could have done better. He could have done a whole lot better. Vexen, I expect better next time, or else you're getting a low grade on your report card. Let's take a quick gander. Let's take a golly good glance at. I despise your Sora. Because the boss fight is hard and he's whack. He's just Noctis with a dash of Riku, Heterochromia, and he's whack all around. Yeah, like, I really don't like the Zora. Especially since we don't know anything about. I may like your Zora in the future, but at the moment, at this current moment in time, oh, did they count these two Xehanorts as separate? Like, what? Well, is this supposed to be young Xehanort possessed by Xehanort, but these technically is this supposed to be evil Xehanort? Because, like, I remember, I was watching a live stream. I was watching a live stream of one of the trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I remember specifically pointing out that Xehanort's eyes weren't yellow in that live stream, and everyone just said I was seeing it wrong. I remember that, and I will never forget that. And look, how many years later I'm right. His eyes are grayish here and they're yellow here. Something happened, but that's neither here nor there. But moving on, I got the same character. I don't care that they're marked differently. Let's see. 5-second antagonist, just like Leon. Actually, no, she technically never was an antagonist. She's just an antagonist to something I'm working on. Baby Ericus doesn't count. Xion, I'd win the fight once again. She was only an antagonist for like a good 5 seconds when she had to be, for the sake of the suffering of these characters. As much as I don't like Key, it's always time to reload, and I just like Xigbar a lot. I like Xigbar, I like Break, I like Luxu, I like that twist, everything. I put him above the Master of Masters. He has so little time. Once again, he appears very sparsely, but when he does appear, he always has this playful edge about him, but it's always a wrong playful edge. Like, it's the same playful edge that you get out of Axel, but like, you're shocked, but you're not shocked that they flip around and would kill somebody in a heartbeat. Like, Axel killing Vexen threw me off, but I wasn't surprised by it, because I could feel it, and I got that same vibe from Xigbar, so I'm not surprised. But I'm surprised he's Luxu, but I'm not surprised that he's Luxu. Whew, that's a weird mess. I'm not surprised he was a twist character. Let's see. We're gonna have to get to it. Oh, we're gonna have to get to it. Can I not dodge it any longer? It's time to... No, I can dodge it at least one more, right? Yen Sid, you didn't... whatever. It's time. It's time. It's time. Now, if Maleficent stopped, if Maleficent died at Kingdom Hearts 1, she would be in true evil. But she's only in Savage because I really like her Kingdom Hearts 1 appearance that much. Yes, I know, it wasn't that long, it wasn't that in-depth, but whatever. I think it was pretty good. I think it was very, very good. The way she organized the villains across worlds, that's very impressive to me. And I know she's barely an antagonist. That's the issue. After that point, I'll just put her dastardly. She's so little of an antagonist. Like, she's just in Kingdom Hearts 2, she's actually more of a protagonist than she's an antagonist. And by Kingdom Hearts 3, she's literally just not involved in the plot. She had a chance to kill Sora. Big Daddy Pete himself said, "Hey, I think I could kill Sora right now," and she just let him go because he wasn't part of the plan. That just shows how, like, I feel like Nomura is contractually obligated to keep Maleficent in the series at this point, because there's no way that you're doing so little with this character. Even in Key, so little was done with her as a character. So yeah, I think it's just some agenda that Nomura has to push. I doubt he actually wants to keep Maleficent relevant, because it's just a waste at this point. Let's see. I can't dodge. Oh, sorry, Mr. Piccolo. All these lessons have gone to waste. Alright, Ansem. True evil. Hands down. Boy was always an antagonist. He was an antagonist to your mama's antagonist. He was an antagonist before your mama knew what an antagonist was. He was an antagonist to the antagonist's antagonist. My boy was real, because not only did he possess Riku, not only did he make Sora suffer, not only did he get destroyed and then still linger in Riku's heart, not only did he do all that, but he also just kept coming back. Like, the determination on this man. It got a bit scary, it got a bit confused, it got a bit worrying that you kept going after this child, but he did it. And I like how he's a necessity. Like, since he's a Heartless, he's a superior Heartless in a sense, because he isn't consumed by his need to, like, consume hearts, but he technically is, because he wanted to consume Kingdom Hearts in the original, and of course Kingdom Hearts was light and he got body back for it, but that was fine. And then when he came back in 3D Dream Drop Distance, and he still was haunting Riku, but Riku had shown its character growth, and by the end, where we see his very end in Kingdom Hearts 3, when he's finally fading away for good this time, he's like, you know what, Riku, nice work, kid. And then he fades away. That was so good. That was a good conclusion to his character arc as an antagonist. He went from the one that was in absolute control to the one who had no control at all. And that's very, very good. I wish upon a star that he was like a slightly better, in the sense that he kept more of his menacing air, because he became an antagonist that bore into Riku specifically. And since Riku, technically, he is one of our main characters, but he is still more of a side character. I wish we got more screen time with him, seeing the more gradual change, because I'm not saying it came out of nowhere. You could definitely see it, but you have to look a bit harder than I think is necessary for someone like Ansem. But I still think he's very, very good. Moving on to Xemnas. Actually, no. Let me not. Marluxia. Ooh. I have in the Kingdom Hearts series, the only person who comes close is Axel, and even still Marluxia wins. Like, Marluxia's a better villain than Ansem to me, I'm not gonna lie. Marluxia. He was an antagonist to every single organization member, including Larxene, technically, because he probably, looking at Marluxia, he wasn't going to share the power with her. No matter, he was just going to use her like he used everybody else. The way he used Axel, the way he betrayed the organization, the way he used Naminé, the way Marluxia was all in it for himself the entire time. And you can even somewhat see that he's still all in it for himself in Kingdom Hearts 3. He doesn't really care about anything about Xehanort's plan, all that. Ooh, wow, great antagonist. He has to get a video. Like, if I sit here, I will talk about Marluxia for 10,000 years. So I'm gonna put Marluxia there, easy. I think it's time for y'all to move down. Like, just know I really don't like King Mickey. I really don't like King Mickey. That's all y'all need to know. I really don't. Moving on to Xemnas. Now, Xemnas edges. Like, he edges, like, barely. Like, it's a fist fight between these two for the top spot in terms of villainy. And yeah, that kind of spoils where Xehanort's going, but in terms of, like, pure villainy, these two are boxing. Because the way he lied to everybody. And I'm confident. Here's the thing. I'm pretty confident that Xemnas was lying in 3D when he said nobody's can grow hearts. I'm a slight bit confident about that, because Xemnas doesn't ever sound like the person who could tell the truth. He was raised on lies so heavily. Xemnas is getting a video. Like, I actually have a plan to give Xemnas a video, so I'm just gonna put him there. I'm gonna leave him there for now. I could go in depth here, but I kind of would be spoiling my own future content, so I'm gonna leave that there. And finally, I think I saved one of my favorites for last. I think that I've gotten every last villain. Yep. It's time to put Xehanort below Larxene. Okay. Now, as an antagonist, does he rip a lot out of our protagonist? Yes, sir, he does. But he's not as... His reworked motivation in Kingdom Hearts 3 is good for the series, not good for him as a character or him as an antagonist. And honestly, I think he weakens a lot because of that. And this is... Leonard Nimoy passed away. Big rip to my boy. He was a fantastic voice actor. No offense to the new voice actor for Xehanort in the English dub, but I feel like he lost a lot of the edge or a lot of the presence that original Xehanort had. He's very, very good, but he's not the best. Once again, I can tell you for a fact, getting a video, but that's all for now. This is my... Let me order everybody real quick. Yeah, Masters, you are at the bottom. Y'all may say I'm wild. You're saying... I know, I can see it now. Y'all... Well, Kingdom Hearts fans are going to say I'm wild. Putting Larxene above Xehanort and Ansem. Remember, I'm referring to them as an antagonist, not a total character. Not a total character. Purely as an antagonist. You want to tell me that... Larxene was a better... Larxene has to be a better antagonist or Sora than Ansem, even as the Riku. I'm going to say it. Then, actually, no, I like Xehanort more. Yeah, I'd say that's all good. Like, she's really in here by semantics. Like, she's in here by semantics. Why are you... I forgot. What Jiminy? I'm gonna have to review that in editing. Why did I put Jiminy in that too? What? I have no idea why I put him there. I'm sorry, Jiminy. I don't remember why. What poor excuse did I give? I'm sorry about that. Broke character for a second there. And yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yes. Yeah, honestly, all around as antagonists. This is my list. You can take this as like, this is definitely ordered too. So like Xemnas would be number 1, then number 2, then number 3, then number 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. King Mickey's the worst character in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Fight me. No, I'm kidding. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.